On today's episode, you'll hear from a business owner that knows the money is in the list. This is the Be a Marketer podcast.
Be a Marketer.
My name is Dave Charest, Director of Small Business Success at Constant Contact, and I help small business owners like you make sense of online marketing. And on this podcast, we'll explore what it really takes to market your business, even if marketing's not your thing. No jargon, no hype, just real stories to inspire you and practical advice you can act on. So remember, friend, you can be a marketer. And at Constant Contact, we're here to help. Well, hello, friend, and thanks for joining us for another episode of the Be a Marketer podcast. And hello to Kelsey Carter. Hi, Kelsey.
Hello, Dave Charest. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. As always, happy to have you here so we can talk about what we got going on today.
As always, super happy to be here.
So this is another episode in our series of Constant Contact Community Coaches joining us here. So who are we chatting with today?
So today's guest is Melanie Diehl. She is the CEO and president of Melanie & Co. Marketing Collective, which actually recently celebrated its 15th birthday when we recorded the episode. Melanie's also a certified Constant Contact partner and a Constant Contact community coach. So she really seems to do it all.
Yeah, amazing. So we got together with Melanie to just chat about list growth specifically. But before we get into that, we actually learned a bit about her business as well.
Yeah, prior to her getting into marketing, she actually ran an interior design business for 25 years and then had an overhead crane business with her husband. So she's definitely no stranger to small businesses.
An overhead crane business.
I know.
That sounds exciting. Her small business journey, of course, started many years ago after being laid off from her corporate job. So let's go to Melanie as she reflects on her small business beginnings.
I learned a lot of lessons. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't grow up in a family of entrepreneurs, so I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never heard of such a thing as a business plan or anything like that. I just was a girl with a sewing machine and some talent and a desire. So I went to business. I got busy sewing and making draperies and curtains and the soft goods and learned a lot of lessons. One of my first real paid jobs, I broke a window. So I had to pay for that. And walked away with making probably a loss on that job. But in those days, the internet didn't exist. There was yellow pages and community bulletin boards and word of mouth. And word of mouth is what really grew my business and networking. That was kind of the marketing I did back in the early days, but it worked.
Well, oddly enough, right? I mean, a lot of the same things we still rely on today as small business owners, but there's more technology available to help us do that kind of at a larger scale in many instances. As you've kind of transitioned between these different businesses, I'm sure you've learned a lot with each of them. And as you come into your own consulting business, what do you love most about running your own business today?
I love seeing the aha moments for my clients. I love seeing the victories that they have. I love my team. And I work really hard to support them so we can support our clients. I like to see them embracing new ideas and concepts and being open to trying new things because I think that's important. If we're going to grow as business owners, we've got to be open to new concepts and not stuck in, well, back in the day, we didn't do it that way. I love to watch them be willing to grow as well.
How big is your team today?
Well, I have 5 on the team, including me. They're not all full-time, though. So I have 2 core team members, and then I've got 2 part-time team members that are on call when I need them.
Most challenging thing about running your business today?
Things change so quickly, and I think it can be really challenging to stay on top of those changes and those trends. Also, one of the things that I see, I struggled with in the beginning, and I see a lot of my clients struggle with this too, especially when they're just getting started. I learned this lesson when I went to a conference. Don't charge less than market rate, even when just starting out. And I didn't charge market rate for the longest time. And I think what happens then is that leads to burnout and it leads to all of these negative things that can kind of impact your business on a negative way. So that's one of the biggest lessons I learned is to know your worth and be willing to charge it because there's someone out there who's willing to pay for the premium service or product that you have to offer. And those are the people that you want for your clients and customers anyway. So know your worth and charge it. That's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned in my 35 years of being in business.
Well, I guess how long have you been a Constant Contact certified partner now?
For more than 10 years.
More than 10 years. Love that. Thank you for that. And you're also a Constant Contact community coach now. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what that role entails?
So this is a new program that's recently rolled out, and it's a lot of fun. There are a few of us who were invited to be part of the beta program of the community coaches, and we're really active in the online community with constant contact customers. And these are people that may be new to the product, maybe they've been around the product for a while, and they're just really trying to grow their business and learn more about marketing, learn more about email, learn more about landing pages and surveys and all of the things that Constant Contact offers in the way of product, but they're also asking for advice on just growing their business in general. So we do have a lot of those newbies who are just exploring and just maybe they've got some side gigs that they want to turn into full-time products or full-time experiences once they retire or leave their 9 to 5 or what have you. So a variety of people that are in there asking all sorts of questions. And it's really an engaging community because people are very supportive of each other. And I like that. I haven't seen any of those negative Nancy's in there at all. It's very pleasant, positive, upbeat experience. And I really like to learning from my peers as well. So some of the other community coaches, the Constant Contact team, I learn from them all the time. And I'm a believer that ongoing education, always be learning, is just a motto that all of us need to live by.
Yeah, I love that. Well, appreciate you in there helping out other customers, of course, and working with the other coaches. And I've talked to a lot of Constant Contact customers, and luckily, no negative Nancy's have come up along our way either. So I love that. So we're here to talk about audience building. And at the end of the day, when you think about digital marketing, it's really all about finding your audience and then developing a relationship with them so that they, well, know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you, right? And I often talk about this idea of the party principle, and it's the idea that right, social media is kind of like this big party where you can find and you can meet your people. And then like email marketing is that after party. It's people that you're connected with, you've made a connection to them, and you want to stay connected with them. And then that text or SMS marketing is kind of like that VIP party, right? Right. These are a select group of people that have really given you instant access to them in the form of their mobile number. And so end of the day, it's really all about moving those people closer and closer to your business. So you have a list of people that you can kind of contact on your terms. And so I guess my question to you, Melanie, is from your point of view and what you've seen over the years, why is growing a contact list so important for a business?
My very first answer to that, Dave, is you own that list. It is a highly valuable asset to your business. If you think back to the days before technology and digital marketing, you had a book of customers, you had your customer list. That was an asset to your business. The same holds true with your email list. You own this, and it's something that is of value to you. I remember back in the day, 5 or 6 years ago, Matthew Montoya was trying to teach us the value of our list. So we would kind of see exactly what our list is actually worth to our business. And everybody was surprised when we walked through that exercise to see what our list is actually worth to us as business owners. You go to sell your business, you can sell that book of business along with it, that list of customers. So it really is a valuable asset. And it's not something that we set and forget. So it's not just, oh, I did my list growth and now I'm done, because we know that there's going to be some attrition, there's going to be loss. So we need to replace that with gains. We should always be building our list.
It doesn't have to be a huge list either, right? Depending on the nature of your business, but it's something you always should be working on. And I would argue make a priority, because it's, again, somebody comes to your store, somebody comes and visits your website. Once they leave, if you don't have a way to contact them, you've got no way to get them back. And so what are some of the ways, and maybe even some of the Constant Contact tools you recommend to your clients in terms of thinking about how they should be growing their lists?
So landing pages are probably my number one tool for list growth. We know that, well, like we were talking about, bringing people to the party and that whole party mentality. We also need to think about what's in it for me. So one of the things that I strongly encourage my students and my clients to do most of the time is to avoid using join my list as a reason to join my list, right? What's in it for me, consumer? Why should I join your list? So having that whole personal touch, that whole I know you well enough to say that maybe this is of interest to you. And that's where landing pages come into play. So we're giving them something in exchange or an email address. And probably everybody who's listening to this has exchanged their email address for something of value to them. And it can be something very simple. I like what you said a minute ago. I don't think the list of our size is as important as the value. I always choose quality over quantity. You can get a whole bunch of random, never check my email address except for this one freebie people if you want to, but does that really serve you at the end? So probably not, probably doesn't serve you. So using landing pages and targeting those landing pages to the right audience using some of the other tools that we have in our toolkit is probably the best way to get some ideal clients on your list.
Yeah, one of the things I love about the landing pages is that you don't have to necessarily like integrate them into your website, for example. You can kind of use them. They stand on their own. So they're like almost mini websites in many ways where you're able to just put up a page quickly, put the information you need to put on there so you can get the information that you need to get from people. And to your point, in exchange for something, usually, right, like a sale or a discount if you do those types of things, or maybe it's just like exclusive content is another thing we see people signing up for. I think these are good things to use in particular on social media, for example. Include a link in your bio that leads to your landing page. To your point, you can make them for specific things or in specific audiences and use cases. You can create a QR code to use those when you're out at live events to put on print materials. Those types of things I think is really important. Talk to me about, even when you start thinking about when you do get to that point where you are putting things on your website as well, talk to me about maybe forms that you may want to use.
We like to, every website that we build for our clients is going to have a contact us page, contact us form in the footer, and some sort of lead capture as well. So in addition to the contact us form, there's some people who are not super fans of pop-ups. Oh, I would never put a pop-up on my website. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that pop-ups work. However, pop-up forms can be a whole lot different than they were just 2, 3, 5 years ago. It doesn't have to cover the entire page. We have a lot of settings that we can use. The constant contact pop-up form works great on websites, and you can manipulate the settings so it's not intrusive, it's not obnoxious, it doesn't cover the entire page of content, and they can be highly converting. Case in point, my client Diane, esthetician, a client of mine for 9 years, which is almost unheard of in social media marketing world, right? You have a client for 9 years. We put a pop-up form on her website. She is a solo esthetician, solo practice, reasonably small list, about 400 subscribers on her list. We put a pop-up form on her website. I went in and I checked the statistics on it. 10% of her list came from her pop-up form. Pop-up forms can work, but they need to be tastefully done, and we can do that using constant contact. So I'm a huge proponent of those. I know that they work.
Yeah. I just want to kind of recap some things for folks here. One, owning the list, it's really important. It provides great value to you because you have customers and potential customers that you can reach directly. Make sure when you're thinking about growing your list that you are actually offering something of value to them in exchange for giving you that information, because that'll be more valuable to you in the future. And then it's really simple to get started when you start thinking about the tools that Constant Contact offers. I'm thinking landing pages here, probably the quickest way to do this because you, again, not tied to a specific website or anything like that. You can get up and going right away. And then, of course, putting forms, pop-up forms, inline forms, whatever the case may be that you want to use for your website, I think is also important. And I think maybe the big thing to leave people with is just make sure you're asking people, right? You're asking them and giving them that reason why they should join that list, make that offer to them, because that'll be really important and help you get more people on that list. Well, friend, let's do a little bit of a double recap here from that discussion. Number one, charge what you're worth. Now, the biggest lesson that Melanie has learned over her 35 years of being in business is that you must charge at least the market rate for your services. Now, if you don't, you run the risk of burnout and other things that impact your business in a negative way. So heed Melanie's advice. Know your worth and be willing to charge it. There's someone out there who's willing to pay for the premium services and products that you have to offer. And those are the people that you want as your clients and customers so that your business can thrive. Number two, focus on growing your email list. Now, Melanie remembers a time before technology and digital marketing. You had a book of customers, and that customer list was an asset to your business. Now, the same holds true with your email list. You own it, and it's something of value to you. And as a business owner, you can sell your business and that list of customers along with it. So make sure you're always building your list. And number three, collect contacts with a landing page. Now, Constant Contact sign-up landing pages allow you to quickly create a custom web page to collect information and add it directly to your Constant Contact account. Now, you can make landing pages for specific audiences and use cases. And remember, if you can offer a discount or an exclusive piece of content like a guide or a checklist, you're going to have a bigger chance of people joining your list. So you can include links to your landing page in your social profiles, your email signatures, and you can even create a QR code to use on printed materials like a brochure or a business card. Constant Contact makes that process easy for you. So here's your action item for today. Create a sign-up landing page and share it in the Constant Contact community for feedback. I'll include some links in the show notes with resources to help you get started. Then, once you create your sign-up landing page, share it in the Constant Contact community for feedback from one of our community coaches. And hey, you may even get some new subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Be a Marketer podcast. Please take a moment to leave us a review. Just go to ratethispodcast.com/BAM. Your honest feedback will help other small business marketers like yourself find the show. That's ratethispodcast.com/BAM. Well, friend, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and continued success to you and your business.